there has been some question about whether Donald Trump might go for a more secure version of pardon, which is to have Mike Pence pardon him the way Richard Nixon had Jerry Ford pardon him. The trouble is the president has to resign. Mike Pence has to become president to have that pardon authority. But then Donald Trump would be getting a pardon issued by a president, not himself, and that would be on more solid legal ground. Is there any talk of that in the White House?
I haven't heard any talk of that, but I think you'd also have to think about Mike Pence in this situation. And we just saw Mike Pence unwilling to go along with the president's outlandish claims about the Constitution and what his own vice president could do. And I find it hard to believe. Well, I don't find anything hard to believe anymore, but I think it might be a bit of a stretch to think that Pence would go to that length for the president to simply become the president, to pardon the president. The president has openly expressed that he thinks, as you were showing in that clip before, that he can pardon himself. The president thinks that the presidential powers allow him to do extraordinary things. So I don't think he would be deterred by that. Maybe his lawyers would say you'd be better off to have Mike Pence do this. But I think at this point, Donald Trump probably wants to stay president as long as he can.
Yeah, the challenge to the self-pardon or that would come only if Donald Trump was charged with a federal crime, and then Donald Trump's lawyers would walk in a federal court in Manhattan, say, where he was basically an unindicted co-conspirator in the Michael Cohen case, and they would hold up the pardon, give it to the judge, and say, "Judge, you have to dismiss these charges. He's been pardoned." That would send the pardon case on an appeal that could take it, and probably would take it, to the United States Supreme Court, where we would find out how this court feels about a self-pardon.
And the Trump allies say, okay, might as well just do it and let the courts make a decision about it. The interesting thing that I found in working on this story is I spent some time talking to Jack Goldsmith, this professor at Harvard Law School, who's sort of a pardon expert. And what he said to me is that if Trump pardons himself, he's just kind of baiting the Biden Justice Department ever more into having to investigate him. Because he said that if Biden Justice Department is not going to want it to stand that the president can pardon himself, because it really truly does say that the president is above the law. Because there's a Justice Department policy that says you can't charge a president when he's in office. And if a president can then pardon himself, then there is no way to hold the president accountable. So that the Justice Department under a President Biden would want to try and knock that out. And the only way to knock that out is to investigate the president, prosecute the president, and take him to court. And if the president pardons himself, that's a potential possibility.